No, YouTube. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that was premature countdown.
Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Pausing there. I believe I can fly. What word am I looking for? What word? YouTube.
Oh, right. All right, we ready on Audacity then?
Yes.
Ready.
Okay, for reals on the 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 131 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Viss. Joining me this week, the Texas Toast himself, Dave Mann.
Yes. I'm here, holding my trophy of sorts, like a sword.
And the moving man as well, Joshua Owens.
I have built a box fort, and I'm never coming out.
This kind of sounds like a great idea. I'll be honest with you.
It's better.
Box
It's better.
forts are
in
great.
here. Yeah.
Chad cut me off. I was going to say a sword of dragon glass.
Well, sorry about that, Dave. I apologize. Welcome to what is the best podcast on the internet from South Dakota and Texas and Illinois about video games. That's right, the best one. Find another, I dare ya. We're going to jump right into this week's episode by starting off with something we do every single week. We like to call it What We're Giving Away. Now, we're going to be a little bit more brief this week. Some things, and Dave is here to tell us what that is.
Well, I'm intrigued because I love giveaways.
All right, guys.
He's back, guys.
As always, as every week, everybody that's been listening to this podcast knows very well we're giving away a PS4 in November.
What?
A week before a week before Black Friday. You know why, as you've been listening. If you haven't been listening, go back and listen. You'll find out a lot of cool stuff, and you'll learn about the giveaway. But anyways, giving away the PS4, all you got to do to enter every month, you can either go to patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer and throw us $1 or more or whatever. Not necessary for an entry, but if you do that, you get one every month that you support us. So that means you could still get in for the month of August. Well, I guess you technically can't, can you? Can you?
No, the next one would be September.
So it'll be September, October, November. So you got, $3 will get you 3 chances or 3 entries in this giveaway. But
so you're telling me somebody could pay $3 and win a PS4? That's crazy.
Exactly.
Sounds like they can't afford not to.
But also for the rest of this month, Josh, if you want to give, if you want to get our extra, somewhere Paco is stabbing his ears. If you want to submit an entry that is new every month, we do something new each month, and then after the end of that month, that's it. You can't get an entry that way. This month has been simply to submit us via email, Facebook message, Twitter, whatever you want to do. Your game character is in all of video gamedom, as I call it. And then at the end of the month, we're going to tally all those up and find out who reigns supreme on that list. That doesn't give you any more entries or anything like that. That's just for us to do for fun. And but other than that, I don't think we did give a bonus to Sonic. That thing's over.
That is over.
That's over.
Ended at the time the record button started on this podcast.
How about that?
So
How
if
many
you
people
did listen,
that? Several did.
4.
How about that?
We got 4 lucky people that got an extra bonus entry just for listening and doing what we asked them to. 4 guys. So that gives you an idea of what your odds and chances are in the future.
Excellent.
Guys, I'll tell you what, I've been podcasting for a very, very long time, and I just feel like, first of all, this is a crazy stunt. Second of all, I don't feel like anybody else is doing things like this. So
Definitely.
These listeners, I hope they understand what they got here. This is crazy.
Definitely. Get on the giveaway. So there we go. Business out of the way. We're going to move right into the news that you can use.
If you so choose
To do so.
Brought to us by aforementioned ear-stabbing Paco.
Sorry, Paco.
And First Hand Supply, dip the world in it.
I'll let you guys do that one.
First Hand Supply. All right, so we got a few items on the list this week. Gamescom is currently happening over there in Cologne, Germany. We had some things from Microsoft and EA so far at the time of this recording. I'll just say we'll get to a few of those, but nothing really huge that I have noticed has really come from them. So there's not anything earth-shattering. So we'll just get through the news, and we'll do the Gamescom stuff right at the end. First item up for discussion, Crackdown 3. Microsoft's big first-party exclusive game for the Xbox One into next spring.
Is this not the second delay?
Yes, I think so. I think it was supposed to come out in October at first, and then they delayed it to basically the launch of the Xbox One X, and now it has been delayed to spring. No specific date, but spring 2018.
So I'm just going to jump in here, and I'm going to say I think Evan had a point when he said that this might shift the standings a little bit for the E3 prediction show. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying one way or another, but I think it might be worth a look. It might be just worth a consideration.
If you want to get into it, I mean, Microsoft did announce a release date on E3, which was the prediction. That didn't change. They still did
also,
that.
Chad.
Now they changed
just
it.
So everyone knows, Chad did preface the entire contest by not allowing us to give obvious things that were going to be done. Like, example, giving a release date and a price for Xbox One.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm bitter or anything. I'm just saying I just wanted to make sure everybody saw that Evan said that in case it changed anything for anyone or
it changed your feelings about people. I mean, you could say that it wasn't an obvious pick because they have now since changed it, meaning they were probably really wrestling with the idea of whether even to announce a date.
Yeah,
so not really obvious.
Well, as you know, in this day and age, free speech, you can say whatever you want. I mean, you can be wrong all you want.
Obviously.
We'll allow you to be, but we will make it known that you are.
I'm just stirring the pot. I
don't know what any of that means. So it's coming out next year.
Yeah.
Next,
Yay.
PUBG. We have a couple things to talk about with PUBG. Hopefully you guys saw the news today, or actually yesterday. But first of all, PUBG crosses the 600,000 concurrent players. Actually almost got to 700,000 here just a few days ago, and then has sold over 8 million copies of the game. Still in early access and only on Steam.
Yeah, that's
so to do fantastic.
So they currently hold the record for concurrent players, correct? That's a lot of words that start with C.
Yeah, Dota 2 still reigns supreme in that. They have over a million.
There's only 2 words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They have the number 2 highest players and the most players for a game that isn't owned by Valve.
Oh,
so
that's
what you were thinking.
that's where I was at. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so big deal, real big deal, especially for not even being actually out yet. So those are 2 big things. Then the third one, and the one that's kind of still a little confusing, a little, a lot of, publicity talk, publicists. But Microsoft came out yesterday at Gamescom and said that they are going to publish the console version of PUBG. We all know from E3 that PUBG is coming to the Xbox One by the end of 2017. They had Brandon Green out, who's the developer and the maker of this game, creator of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown himself, and he confirmed that it is still coming out by the end of the year, did not give a specific date, but then also said that Microsoft will be publishing the console version. So a couple things that means. One, it makes it easier for Bluehole, which is the company that is currently working on the console version, makes it easier for them to get it out quicker, because now they'll have some Microsoft help. They'll also have some Microsoft money. So that's a good thing. Helps you get out faster. Secondly, it brings up the big question on exclusivity.
That's where my mind went.
When they announced it at E3, it was announced as a console launch exclusive, meaning that, for the Xbox One X, that it would be only on the Xbox One X at launch. Now, that obviously doesn't mean that it won't necessarily come to PlayStation 4 at another time, But now that Microsoft is publishing it, the question comes up again. Well, does this secure the fact that it won't come out on PlayStation 4? And both Bluehole and Microsoft have danced around that question without really giving an answer, other than they're excited for it to come out and they'll work together, blah, 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 all that type of PR speak. It brings to mind for me the Tomb Raider, right? That Microsoft helped publish with Square Enix for a year. And they danced around it and avoided that question as well. And then a better version, complete quote-unquote version, came out a year later on PlayStation.
It makes me think of this. Did Microsoft own Minecraft before it came to the PlayStation?
No, I don't believe so. I believe Mojang had platforms, and then Microsoft bought it. They still continue to update that version. Microsoft does, and support. So I'm trying to think
of, like, do we know of any other games that are published by Microsoft that are on?
Well, like Tomb Raider was help publish that game. Now Square Enix still was the developer and helped publish it as well, but Microsoft did give them money to help publish it on the Xbox One, and then a year later that came.
But that's to me, that's different money. That's like launch exclusivity money.
Sure.
So we can get it first. Whereas this is a strictly published version of the game, which is different.
And they may be dancing around the question because maybe the deal isn't final yet, as well. But I think without a concrete answer, it doesn't diminish the fact that it could come to PlayStation 4, but it kind of brings into question it a little bit, which is disappointing for. I mean, man, to not put it on that console just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I imagine that it still will be a timed exclusive, because obviously they're pulling this because they're trying to sell more consoles. But as a Microsoft, or as a company, Microsoft is going to want to tap into those 40+ million PS4 users too down the road. I mean, there's just no question. It's a money thing. I can't imagine they're not going to. If they publish the console version, that means they would make money off of selling it on PS4 as well, correct?
But are there any other first party published games that have gone to the opposite platform?
Mass Effect, I don't know if it was published by Microsoft. No, originally had, I think it did have some Microsoft Studios work, and eventually that did come to PS3 as well. But that's not a first party game, but they did help.
Right. I mean, this isn't necessarily either. It'll be published.
Yeah, it definitely isn't a first party.
That's a weird
game,
thought.
But yeah. Obviously, they had some deal in place beforehand with E3 with being a console launch exclusive. So they already gave them money for that. But now the fact that they're pushing the console version, which means they're putting money in and manpower to help get it to the console faster. So for Microsoft, and everything that is sold on the console would give them money back as a publisher. So yeah, if it eventually comes to PlayStation 4, does that mean they turn over all the publishing rights on that back to Bluehole and just only take Xbox rights? I don't see that would be something that happen either. And I don't know all the business dealings of game development and publishing, but
it seems like they would a good decision if they were going to publish it to just, eventually allow it to go to play. It seems like, like Dave was saying, they're just making money on the rest of it. So I guess why not?
Right. So would you see the Microsoft Studios logo on your PlayStation 4?
On a PlayStation game. That's crazy.
Right. Interesting. And it has caused a lot of, confusion and questions, and not plain speak as PR speak tends to be. So my main concern, obviously, year, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I've watched probably more hours of people play it than I've played other games that I own. So
yeah, I've been watching more of it too, and I'm really excited. I am still concerned, like what I had texted you a while back about how they're going.
Yep, that's a valid point. You should
to the Xbox controller, specifically the inventory management, because when you watch those guys, I mean, these are when you talk about PC being the master race and people talking about that, there's just all kinds of things they're doing with the mouse and keyboard that you just can't do on a controller.
Yeah.
It's not fast enough. And eye-hand coordination is not fast enough. But when they go into their inventory management and they find something, there's a list of there could be a list of 30 so plus things. And as of right now, watching all the videos, the only way to get that over there is to drag and drop stuff. And doing that with a console, anybody who's played RTS games on a console knows, if you've played them on the computer versus the console, they're not as easy to play. After like for example, on the PC, you're dragging a box around a group of soldiers and highlighting them that way, or making them, giving them not hotspots, but it's a hotkey. Where you can do that, I guess, to an extent, but you only have so many buttons on the controller to do that too. So it just doesn't translate the same.
Yeah, they would have a drop problem. Yeah, they would have to solve that for sure. And I don't know how you do that. You know, you can't use a cursor like Destiny or, No Man's Sky do, because it's just not. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could if you're in your inventory,
but not that fast. You have to be fast. I would imagine you're probably going to have to navigate it with the directional buttons, up and down, and hit A to transfer. Or
I was going to say, it seems like it'd be like a click to transfer thing in that case.
But that really does stress the whole argument or discussion about PC versus console.
And they confirmed that again here with the same time that there will be cross-play between PC and Xbox One.
Yeah. I really, really hope that it's optional.
They have to do a separate server or something for that.
Or they have to give the Xbox One owners a auto aim or something that gives them
and then you're going to constantly have people that are going to constantly crap on it, that you're not really winning.
Yeah, so they've got some issues. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, to decide. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I like the idea of cross-play because that's just more people to play with, especially when it's 100 players at once. You don't want to be going to matches only finding 30-some players.
Yeah.
So exciting, interesting. One of the biggest games that has come out in recent memory and just taking the gaming world by storm. Yeah.
If with Microsoft publishing this game, does that open up the discussion bigger on PS4 finally allowing crossplay? Because they have something to barter with. Hey, we'll let you sell this on your console, but we've got to do crossplay with Xbox and PC.
That totally could be a point. Yeah.
Because there's finally a bargaining chip in one court or the other in order to make that happen. And Microsoft historically has been the one that seems like, we're fine with it if PlayStation would open it up. And now, like with Rocket League, there was really no bargaining power either way. But now,
other than it looked bad,
right? But now there's like Microsoft can literally say, well, this is a requirement if you're going to sell it on your platform. That's an interesting.
Yeah, and then they'd have to explain to all the PS4 owners that they aren't, because Microsoft would straight up come and say, "Well, we're happy to do it." Well,
this is the only reason why
they won't let you play with us. Yeah, man,
that's interesting.
Hard bargaining for sure. All right, well, that's exciting. We will keep our eye on that. Yeah. All right, next question for you too: flight or invisibility? Choose.
Flight.
I got to go with invisibility. Well, see, here's the thing. It's really like when you're just like instinctive answers like that, that's one thing. But when you're really thinking about this, it's going to take so long because there's so many questions. For example, what kind of flight? Do you have Superman flight? Do you have like bird flight? Like how fast is your flight? Are you the speed of light? This is quite a plight.
These questions.
I think we're going to fight.
Okay. It's just a quick answer.
My mind immediately goes to the fact that, first of all, I've always, like, since I was a kid, I've been like, man, it'd be so cool to fly.
Absolutely.
So there's always that. It would just be super cool. But then I think, okay, so on top of it being super freaking awesome, I would never have to work another day in my life if I could fly.
Now, why is that?
Because how much money do you think you could make in like wherever, anywhere that like
you're giving rides or what?
No, just
the government. You don't have super strength, so you wouldn't be able to just like the government.
Man, let them come at me.
The only way you're going to make money is if you let the government regulate you.
Nah.
Well, otherwise,
I'll
they're
move.
not gonna
I'll
let-
fly.
they're not
They
going to let
can't
you
stop
fly
me.
around.
I'll
You're an
fly to-
unidentified flying
I'll
object.
fly to Cologne, Germany, and go to Gamescom for all I care.
Here's the deal,
Shoot.
Josh. Here's the deal. Without having all of Superman's powers, or at least super strength, I don't know if the fly. Because see, here's the deal with flying. If you're invisible, free airfare. You can get on any plane, go into.
Yeah, but you just gotta hope you don't bump into anybody.
Oh, I think
so
I can
if
manage
you're
that.
invisible,
what are they going to say? Oh, I just bumped into the Invisible Man. No, they're not going to know what the heck. Just
So
happened.
you're naked all the time, right? Because your clothes aren't
that's
invisible.
You'd
another
have
question.
to be.
Which actually makes
you
it
know.
more fun. But that's a question.
You're all out there.
Do your clothes? Do you have some type of machine that makes you invisible? Or do you just have the power
again,
to your clothes? Because,
I think
for
you're just
example,
invisible.
well, look at the Invisible Woman. She had a designed outfit that also went invisible with her.
Yeah. Well, then, if you're a flying man, you'd have an outfit that designed to help you fly and withstand freezing temperatures up in the stratosphere as well.
Well, that
I'm just
doesn't
saying,
change.
if
That
I
doesn't
can
change your
fly-
strength or your super speed or anything like that. I'm fine with him having an outfit.
It could change your strength. Iron Man, maybe it makes you stronger too.
If I can fly, when my landlord is like, "Hey,
Regulation.
hey, you're late on your rent," then I'm just like, "Well, I can fly, so
He's like, "Oh, you got me there.
I can
You
fly."
got me there."
So Josh is going to
Carry on, sir.
Josh is going to
Carry
use
on.
his ability to fly to just squat on different properties.
Oh yeah,
in every
Never
situation.
pay.
Yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah."
Your
He'll
credit
fly
will
from
fly
one
away.
Plus, I
one
can
house to
fly,
another.
so bonus. Like I could just be a lazy butt my whole life, and I can
And
fly.
fly.
Yes, please, thank you very
If
much.
I'm
So
invisible,
eventually-
if I'm invisible, I can follow Josh around and grab him with ankles.
Let's say eventually Josh is a 400-pound man flying through the sky.
I'm just
Like,
like,
"Yeah, time
I'm
to
just like
go."
Kirby floating around.
That's great. Good discussion. Flight versus
Chad,
invisibility.
Wait,
I
but
was
what about
yours.
you? Yeah, what about you?
I'd also take flight.
Yeah,
But why?
And just because you can fly.
Invisibility.
That's why. So let us know what you think flight versus invisibility. Obviously, again, a nod to Splatoon 2. Next on the news list, Call of Duty World War II. The beta for those that have pre-ordered begins August 25th on the PlayStation 4, which is this current week, which will be me and Dave because I done pre-ordered it, and I'm going to play that. I am itching for some Call of Duty.
Yes.
I'm just
Is
dying
this
to
only
shoot
for
some.
people that pre-ordered?
Correct.
Oh no. Okay.
Is this
The,
a closed
Xbox
beta
One-
versus an open beta later, or just the beta?
At the moment, yeah, they haven't announced anything for an open beta yet. They've only said the August 25th will begin the PS4's beta for those that pre-ordered. September 1st, I believe, will begin the Xbox One version of the pre-ordered beta. And then I would imagine, as most people do or most companies do, that eventually they'll have an open beta available for everybody at some weekend. So
It's looking
they
pretty
have
cool.
not said that I'm aware of. But
I'm surprised. Like I feel like we just heard about this not too long ago, and it's already like they're already doing betas. I mean, that seems quick. It must
Yeah,
have been in the
it's-
works for a little bit.
you were two months or so, just over 2 months away from release for the game. So
Yeah.
about the similar
forward to it.
time frame for Destiny. So yeah, it'll be fun. So that's coming next. Switch. Nintendo Switch is July's top selling console. Outsold the PS4 and the Xbox One. So obviously the MPDs came out from July. That's where I'm pulling some of these numbers. I didn't get everything, just a couple interesting things. Switch being the top selling console was, I thought, interesting because people are saying they're still having a hard time finding them, but I think they're a little more readily available than they have been. So they continue to sell well. Secondly, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands is the number one 2017, which I'm a little surprised at, but
Still, it's doing good. That's great.
I feel like I'm very surprised at that.
it's very popular. It's a good game, which we'll get to some issues I have with it, however, in what we've been playing. And then finally, the top-selling game for July, I don't think really big shock, but Splatoon 2. So there
I
you
still have yet to play that. I do want to, though.
It's people that like it a lot, and it sounds fun. I purchased it myself either. Next, Mass Effect Andromeda. We know a lot of the team members from there kind of got put into I think EA Motive is where they ended up going to work on some of the Star Wars stuff. And they did come out today saying, or this week rather, saying that there will not be any story DLC for this game, which will be the first Mass Effect game without a story add-on, which is kind of a big deal when it comes to Mass Effect.
I keep getting reminded that I need to play that. I've only played like the intro of the game, basically. And because all my saves are been erased, I would have to start over anyway. No. So I'm glad, kind of.
Forgot about that.
But from everything I've heard, it's still a good game. Like Mass Effect fans still liked this game. It just wasn't as good as the other ones. And now that all of the issues and pretty much taken care of, I got to remember to get back into that and play that. I mean, this is the time to do it before all the big stuff starts coming out.
Well, you might be too late on that.
Really?
Not only no story DLC, but also no more patches at all, right? They said the last patch was the last.
I guess I didn't see that. Is that what they said?
I thought I read that like whatever the last patch was that they released was the last one. Like they're not supporting it at all anymore.
That's interesting. Disappointing. And Dave, I think you're right that there are people that like it a lot. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh, there's 40, 50 hours if I want to get through it. And then I'm like, I don't know if I'm willing to commit that time.
Have we seen, have you followed it all? Like, was there any point where people said, I played through Mass Effect and it gets way better, or the story's great at the end? Like, I don't even know what the story is. Because it's not something people are talking about or we're talking about. It's a good game. Mm-hmm.
It's not like the other Mass Effects where it's like big deals, like, oh, this is crazy, or suicide mission type stuff. It was and solid, but they missed on, they just had too many quirks and bugs and facial animation issues that. So those that have finished it, and I've heard people that have enjoyed it, but they compared to even the other Mass Effect games, it's a definite fourth place when it comes to those.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I'll still need to play it.
Next. Yeah, I would like to at some point. So did you guys see this mysterious PlayStation tweet from the PlayStation UK account?
I did. I shared on the
is that the one where they were like, we're working on something?
Yeah, they had like something covered in a red. It's not real. It's a animated thing, but something covered in a red cloth. And a message from Ryland, our listener, asking us what we thought it would be. I said I think it's new Move controllers. They're going to announce 2 new Move controllers. It's going to be great.
Were you being facetious about that?
100%. We also got a possible Vita 2. Them and for an option. We even got an option of possibly the next console version, like the PS5 possibly. And then Dave, what did you possibly say it would be?
Well, we didn't mention Evan. Evan thought maybe it was an updated headset VR.
Yep, Evan said updated VR. So whatever that may entail, smaller, cheaper.
Yeah.
And then you said, Dave.
Mine was that they are finally going to do it. They are going to let us change our PSN names, but they were going to do it in a way that they felt really was a payoff for how long it takes. And they decided to jump on the Game of Thrones wagon. And so they're going to let us change our names, but it is via a new $400 piece of hardware. And what it is a PS4 Pro Game of Thrones edition in the shape of a birdcage, because the only way you can change your PSN name is by sending a raven to Westeros.
Oh, that's good. It's a long way to go, but it's good.
Yeah. $400 you can change your name. $400. Gotta have it. And you can only do it once, or your raven gets shot down, and then your PS4 turns into a White Walker, and it destroys everything. All of your saves.
Oh my god.
All of your games.
You
lose your PSN profile. Yeah.
That's a lot of consequences for
and anyone you game share with is also connected. That's how White Walkers work. And theirs does this.
Goodness.
Oh, yikes.
And anyone you're connected to online, it's actually Sony's getting out of the console race, and so White Walkers
blowing everything up.
That's how they're going to destroy their systems. completely. Once we change our names, it's like the destruction. It's like the launch codes. And whenever we start changing our names, everything just starts destroying itself, blowing up. It's a stretch, I know.
PS2s,
it's a stretch, I know. But hey, I mean, we are the king of the North, and we're not going to kneel. I shouldn't give any spoilers. I shouldn't give any Game of Thrones spoilers. So I'll stop right there.
Have any thoughts?
I mean, I like all those ideas, maybe except for the move controllers. Maybe let's not do that.
The Westeros one's good. The move controllers, nah.
Yeah, White Walkers, bring it on. I guess I don't really know what that's all about, but it sounds better than move controllers.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I don't really want them to do this either, but I was wondering if it might be like a new PlayStation TV, since that came out and then sort of crashed super quickly. And I've seen tons of commercials lately. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen tons of commercials lately for View. Like they're still pushing their like TV streaming service super hard. So I'm wondering if they're doing something in conjunction with that. Because I feel like for a long time I didn't see commercials for that, and lately I'm seeing them often.
Yeah, realistically, I feel like it doesn't make sense for it to be a new piece of hardware. I mean, they just came out.
I was gonna say, so you guys think a Vita 2 is not an option, really?
It seems like bad timing.
I mean, the Switch did great.
True.
Switch is doing awesome.
I do kind of like what Josh said. Kind of made me think it would be interesting to see them try to capitalize on the 4K thing with all these consoles, with all the stuff coming out that's doing 4K. You know, whatever, true 4K, Xbox One's claiming true 4K, how to do this, and PS4 can do whatever they can. I'm not even up to date on all that stuff because it's the wording is all so weird how they do all that stuff. But they're selling these consoles, and most people's response or excuse not to get one is, well, I don't have a 4K TV, so why buy that?
Sure,
I don't need it. So if they can here's either bundle something or make something specific to that.
Personally,
maybe. I don't know.
Think it's going to be a huge disappointment for what people think. If you read the tweet, it says that they're gearing up for something new. I think it's a Gran Turismo PlayStation or a bundle, Gran Turismo bundle of some kind, and everyone's going to go, "Oh, really?"
Oh, you're probably right. I didn't even read into it like that, but you're probably right.
Yeah. That's Gran Turismo.
That would make more sense too, because the time of year that it is, and just seems like weird timing to really announce anything else anyway, but like a special edition console or a special edition game or something, that would make sense.
There's my real vote, my real thought. So we'll see. They still have yet to unveil it. I checked right before we started. So
still better than move controllers.
Still better move controllers. 100% agree. All right. Next, last thing before the Overwatch is yet getting one more map. We got the team deathmatch, which from what I understand is not doing that great. But we're also getting a new map, Junktown, home of Junkrat and what's the pig guy? The hook one.
Roadhog.
There you go. Junkrat.
I don't even play the game. Boom.
Thank you for being plugged in to the Overwatch community, Josh. So a new map coming out, Junktown. So that's cool. They keep adding new maps, and that's fantastic. Really good for a game like that. All right, moving on to Gamescom. So here we go. Just a few things to get hit real quick, and then Josh has the very last one, which is a Gamescom announcement as well. But first of all, before that, Xbox One X yesterday, right after the Microsoft conference, and they, for the most part, are sold out everywhere. So GameStop, Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, all sold out. They were available for about an hour. So I logged into Amazon, and I had the opportunity to pre-order one if I wanted to. I, however, did not.
Well, don't worry. They will all be getting emails saying their pre-order has been canceled, and they're moving it to 2 weeks later.
Only from Walmart.
So, yeah.
Only from Walmart. But as Dave mentioned earlier, my excuse is I don't have a 4K TV. I don't need this right now. But that's a thing. A lot of people want one, so that's great. It is available. A few things with it. There'll be over 100 games that will be getting an enhanced edition or updates to enhance it to 4K ready, HDR available. And they keep saying this, and I don't know if I'm reading into it, but they keep saying free 4K update. As if the free word should be something that's like, we're like, oh, wow, thanks for making it free. So
Because
my
it's
question
going to
is,
cost money later?
that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm wondering.
That doesn't make
does that
sense.
mean that's what they would do?
That doesn't make. I mean, you're buying the
doesn't.
console to get that.
Games that are already currently out, like they showed Tomb Raider. They talked about the Halos. They talked about all those games that said they get a free 4K upscale, basically, or enhanced for the Xbox One X free. And I'm going, why do they keep saying free? Why is that something that needs to be put in there? Of course it should be free, right?
What if all future games are going to have a 4K version that costs
different
more?
Interesting. That seems crazy too, right? Like that
seems
dumb.
It does.
I mean,
but the reason, them saying free makes you think, like you're saying, why say free?
Well, this language also reminds me of when they were doing the free upgrade to Windows 10 for a while, and they like all of a sudden set that cutoff, and they were like, if you don't upgrade by this date, it's not free anymore. You're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Which, I mean, they've been sort of merging their two, sort of ecosystems together more and more.
Anywhere.
But
right.
Yeah, that language reminds me of something like that.
Huh.
Which is
I don't know. I could be reading into it way too much, or there could be something there. Which both of those scenarios sound terrible, and a bad idea for consumers. Consumers will not be happy with
the worst thing.
Fair. So we'll see what happens with that. Another thing they talked about being able to transfer. So if you upgrade to the Xbox One X, rather than having to re-download all your games from the internet onto your new system, you can use your home network to just transfer them from your current Xbox One to the Xbox One X, just straight over the home network. So you don't have to actually download them from the internet. It'll be faster, I would assume, and also won't use up any data if there are data caps, which I know a lot more and more people are running into. So that's a good deal. Dave, I mean, I know it's uncomfortable to sit on the floor. It's just getting weird. See, again, folks, the YouTube version, it's where it's at. You need to at least check it out every once in a while. And then finally, when it comes to the Gamescom press conference for Microsoft, they announced a couple more things. I'm sorry, not finally. Record Definitive Edition.
Why?
Yes, finally.
Okay. From what I understand, in the original Record Edition, there was there are robots that you get, right, that give you like special abilities, and there was one missing. Like there was a spot that one would be, and it did not exist in the game. This will have that. No, it just didn't exist, period. Like they didn't finish. Like it's almost as if they didn't have the time to finish it and couldn't include this final robot in the game, where there were even areas you could not get to. Ability from this robot.
You didn't play this game.
No.
But do you know if gamer score without getting to these areas? I mean, if you
I believe so. I believe
robot,
they just cut that whole part out of the game completely. So the Definitive Edition will include that robot and the extra areas, and if you already purchased the game, you'll get it for free. So you get it's basically a patch that you get for free, and then any new games bought will include it as well, and they're selling it as Definitive Edition. It's a stretch, man. It's grasping at straws. Kind of crazy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
I never played it.
And then no, I had no. I mean, I was excited at first, but then after seeing it, and I lost all desire to do so. And then finally, for me, they announced a Jurassic World Evolution game, which is basically build your own Jurassic Park.
That looks good.
I want to at least play this and see.
It looks interesting.
I've always been I'm not saying it's RTS because it's not, it's
like park building
or anything like that. But I like the top down. It's a simulator or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff, and I like the aspect of the fact that you have living creatures that you're kind of, dealing with and everything. So I'll definitely check it out. Again, I don't like playing those games on console, and it's been so long since I played. But actually, like the next thing on our list that Josh is going to talk about, I somehow missed this, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But just because of the initials, I think is it an RTS game?
Yes.
Oh gosh,
go ahead, Josh. Take it away. We started the podcast before Dave got here. Josh was like, "Oh, I have something to add to the news list." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what is it?" And he told me, and my reaction was, "Oh, I have no investment in it."
It was like if I told my wife there was a new Marvel movie that got added to the slate for the next phase or something, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited!" And that was exactly what her reaction would have been. Like, "Oh, okay."
Josh, I played these on my grandpa's computer as a kid, and I loved them.
Oh, so good.
My interest was less than zero. So, Josh, what is it that I don't care about, but you guys do?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't already know, allow me to be the first
Tone it down.
to tell you Age of Empires 4 is officially in the works. Ladies and gentlemen, it's coming. It's happening. It's been too long since...
See, here's how long, Josh, that since I've played Age of Empires, I didn't even know there was a 3.
Oh, yeah.
Age of Empires 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I missed the third one.
In my opinion, 2 was definitely the best.
Okay.
It had 2 different expansion packs, which is what we used to call DLC before it was called DLC, because it wasn't DLC, it was on a disc. But so Age of Empires 2, and then there was, I think it was called the Age of Kings, and then there was a Conquerors expansion, and then there was another expansion, and I don't remember the name of it, but then there was a 3, and it was pretty good. And Age of Empires 4 is officially in development by Relic Entertainment, creators of the Company of Heroes series and other beloved strategy games. So that's all we know right now. It's officially in the works. We have very little other information, but they are confirming that it's officially in the works. In the trailer, they showed it didn't look like it was just one era. They said, I watched the trailer, and there's everything from like Native Americans to like the British Redcoats to like Romans and like Japanese samurai and all kinds of things. So it looks like it's going to span a few different eras, sort of like what the Conquerors expansion did for Age of Empires 2. So I'm very excited. I spent a lot of time with Age of Empires 2, with all of them, but Age of Empires 2 specifically. Like even down to like the nerdy stuff, like creating my own like maps and missions and campaigns and stuff. So I'm very excited. They said it's coming exclusively to Windows 10. But yeah, very excited.
Very, very happy for all you nerds. Very happy.
All of us weirdos.
All you big old toy playing nerds. All right. That's going to be it for the news this week. Last note I'll say about the Gamescom Microsoft conference, it seemed very blah. A lot of regurgitating everything that happened at E3. So nothing really exciting to where it was like an hour and a half. And it really seemed as if they were really trying to push and make things sound new that weren't. But obviously it's a different country. And maybe they felt like they had to give that same kind of presentation. So that's all the news I have for you this week. There will be more Gamescom stuff to discuss next week, I'm sure. But that's going to bring us into the new release, to what we've been playing lately, brought to us by our good friend Andy. And we have no more words of the day right now because sleep is all he cares about. So he came into the store. I saw him at the comic shop last week. He came in. I haven't seen him in person for months. And ever had a child and you have a brand new baby, life changes. Your life is different all the way. Like it's all different in good ways. And then there's some ways that it's different in bad ways, especially when they're new, because they eat a lot at night, which means you don't sleep very good. But then they have this thing where they say babies get colicky. Mm-hmm. They have some digestion problems and stomach issues. RSVs. And they're basically never happy. Never happy. And as you recall, Andy has twins. Both twins have colic.
Cool.
And so they have had some rough nights, and he was real tired. He's basically a walking zombie. And so he hasn't got any words to us, which is 200% understandable in that situation. So Andy is bringing us his sponsor this week, being Sleep Sweet, sweet sleep.
I got to give it up to
Dear
sleep,
God,
man.
can I please get some?
Got to get up to sleep. Starting this new job, I'm now working 5 to 2, or not 5 to 2, 6 to 2. And as you guys know me, I like to stay up late most of the time, play video games.
Yeah.
And so I've been still doing that, and so I'm not getting a lot of sleep, and it's draining me. So, but good news, Chad.
Yeah.
Today I got off work a little bit late, probably 2:45, and then I came and I took like a 4.5-hour nap.
How about it?
So
about it?
I didn't plan on doing that. I woke up and I'm like, dang, it's 7. I got to eat. Podcast is coming up soon. I got to get ready.
Podcast coming.
But
thank you, Andy.
Moving into what we've been playing, Josh, I have to say this. And I'm going to assume you're going to let Josh go first, Chad, because, you know.
Josh. That's what outlines are for.
I'm really happy that you've been playing this game because we're going to get to it later in the new releases. But I brought this up last week that I found out the next one is 4-player co-op.
Oh, nice. Online? Oh,
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, that's really cool.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it. So, with that said, proceed, sir.
All right. So I have been playing. I've had a very hectic. I was gonna say rough, but it hasn't been bad. Like nothing bad has happened over the last couple of weeks. Just very abnormal and super busy, moving among other things. But so I haven't really played much over the last couple of weeks. I actually sat down and played some video games a little bit yesterday for the first time in a little while. So I was playing The Escapists. And so I have had The Escapists and The Walking Dead Escapists for a little while. And I hadn't downloaded either one of them or played them. I played The Escapists a little bit on my PC, but not really very much. And I had finished like Salt and Sanctuary and Lords of the Fallen. So I deleted both of those. And so I was like looking through my library, and these two sounded like sort of like games that I could just like sort of jump into and play for a little bit at a time. So I did. So I've been playing The Escapist a little bit, and it's fun. It's addictive. It's extremely frustrating. Because it doesn't always make sense to me, like the way the game works, it's ironic because a lot of times like it's super realistic, like more so than I would expect it to be. But then other times it doesn't make any sense to me at all, sort of how things work. So I'm still trying to figure out like exactly what the rules are.
Yeah, it's weird how they will find things without finding them sometimes.
Yeah. So for instance, I just completed the second prison, which is the Russian-y wintry one.
Well, first of all, how much is this stuck in your head?
I was like, it's so stuck in my head that I was humming harmony parts along with it. Without even realizing it. So like I was playing the winter prison, which is like it's a step up in difficulty from the first one, which is fairly simple, although it took me longer than I'd like to admit to escape from that one too.
Well, because they also don't tell you everything that you can craft.
Yeah, you just kind of have to like happen upon it. Yeah, I ended up on the wiki for the second prison.
There's just tons of stuff.
And I was like buying tips at the payphone too, but those aren't always super clear. So
wait a second, Josh. So you're telling me you were sort of, I mean, that's kind of like loot box.
With in-game currency, sir. I'm making calls to the outside, and people are like, you could do this. I'm getting tips from my buddies in the outside. Anyway, right. So in the second prison, there is a metal detector to go into like sort of a common area type building where the job postings are and a few other things. And if you carry certain items through that metal detector, it'll go off, and then they'll beat you up and take you to solitary or whatever. So I was it seemed like it wasn't consistent what would set that off versus what wouldn't, and it seemed like it wasn't realistic what would set it off versus what wouldn't. Like at one point I had a plastic key in my pocket that I had made from a mold from a guard's key, and that set it off, but it's plastic.
Right.
At one point I just had the mold in my pocket, and that set it off. At one point I had a guard's baton in my pocket, and that set it off, but then another time it didn't.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah. So like I couldn't ever really figure out what was going on there, so I ended up just not going in there.
I think for the most part, it's whatever is like highlighted in red when you highlight it,
Like anything that's contraband
or a tool or something.
Yeah, maybe it just like it didn't seem like it made sense for like a putty mold to set off a metal detector. But
you know that you can make contraband pouches.
I did not know that.
Yes, you can make contraband pouches. But like just like your faux grating and your false walls and stuff, they have so many uses.
Right.
But so you can go in and out of the metal detector as long as you have this little baggie. I think it's like it's like duct tape and tin foil.
What?
Maybe something else. You can make a little.
There was like tons of foil all over the place, and I was like, I don't even know what I could use this for. At one point, I was like, maybe I could short the fence out, but that didn't work.
Yeah, as long as you have that pouch in your inventory, you can as much else that can fit in your inventory, you can carry it back and forth.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that.
But the things that would frustrate me is that like it took me a while to figure out. Okay, when the guards get pissed off at you and they beat you up and you wake up in the infirmary, they don't take any of your stuff if it's on your person they do.
Yeah, but they don't
go through your desk. Right. But then like I haven't figured out what the pattern is to them checking your cell. It seems like it happens to you far less during roll call. But it has happened to me like one time I started the first prison, and the very first night it was me. And they checked my cell, and I got put in solitary confinement. And when you're put in solitary, they find literally everything. It doesn't matter if you've got it hidden in the ceilings.
And you're there for 3 days. Yeah. So like any stats you've built up. Yeah, you lose your job. Any stats you've built up go down. So my cell ended up getting searched a few times. So what I would do is as soon as they would call my name in roll call, whether it was morning or evening, as soon as I saw my name called, I would run to my room and put everything that was in my desk that was contraband, I would put it in my pockets. So then they would check my desk and they wouldn't find anything in my desk, so then they would just leave. They don't search your person.
I've never done that.
So like I was just avoiding getting caught every time, except for one time. So I didn't know this either. I left foil in my desk once because I didn't have any room for it in my pockets, and I had all the important stuff like on me. So I was like, well, if they find foil, screw it. Like they can just take my foil. So they found foil, but they're so strict that because they found foil, they searched me and took everything from me and put me in solitary because they found one item of contraband in my desk. So it is strict in that way. But like I found out you can frame other prisoners by like putting contraband in their desks. You can get prisoners to like you so much that you can send them to beat up other people. So like stuff like that is really cool and sort of realistic in a way, but then like putty sets off a metal detector and you get shot by the guards. So
and also don't there's things that you'll see that are like, what do I need that for? And then later you find out, like for example, some of the guys had like the guys that would sell contraband, like this doesn't make sense, but they're carrying around a step stool with them somehow.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there's a step stool. What am I going to need that for? I'll just go through the wall or whatever. And then one day I was in the vents, and this is before I learned how the vents work, and I chiseled one of the vents out, and I'm like, I'm going to go in here and get some metal from the metal shop. And I dropped in the room, and then I couldn't get out, and I had to just wait there until morning. And then they came and caught me and put me in solitary.
That makes sense.
Because if you have a step ladder, you can get back out. But that makes me wonder if you just leave the step ladder there, will they find? I mean, I don't know. I've never used it before, but I do know that's what it's for.
Yeah, I don't know about the step ladder because I've never used it, but I'm assuming it would be like leaving a vent open. They would just somehow know it was you.
Yeah, I know that's the other thing. They know who it is if they find a little chisel of dirt out in the back corner of the yard. They know it's you.
They just know it's you. So it's fun though. Like it's very frustrating because like you can prep for your escape and you can gather everything you need and it could be like the day of. You're like, okay, I'm going tonight, and like one dumb little thing happens, like one dude beats you up in the yard, or like just one stupid thing happens, and it all falls apart, and they take everything, and then you have to start from square one, gathering everything again, which is maddening.
Now it does save every morning when you wake up,
Right?
as long as you don't have like a guard thing,
Right.
And so you can load back to that day.
Yeah.
And continue from that day. I'm just all that to say, I'm really excited to play this with some people.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it will be more fun to co-op it versus playing by yourself, because like that I think is when like that's some real strategy gets involved there. So I'm excited. Yeah. Speaking of you getting trapped in the metal shop, Dave, I crafted a guard key, and I was basically just exploring, because I was like, I want to case everything out like before I really plan my escape. So I crafted a guard key. And it was like the staff key, so it lets you into all the staff areas. It's not like the highest security key, but it's also not the lowest. And I didn't know that plastic keys only have a certain number of uses. Yeah. Like 3, I think, at the most. So I was just like going through doors. Like I was like, I wonder what this area is. So I went through a red key door, and I was like exploring there, and then I went through another one. So the last time, like the last use of my key, which I didn't know, but the last use of my key, I walked into the guards like break room. And so there's like a table and a coffee pot and some stuff in there. Everything in there is useless to me. I can't do anything in there once I'm in there. But then the key was gone. Yeah. So I was like, oh crap. Like now what? So now I'm stuck in there, and it's like early in the day. It's like before lunch. So I'm just stuck in there, just sitting. And so like lunch is happening, and then work is happening, and then exercise period, and like showers, and finally like roll call comes around at night, and then the prison goes on lockdown because I'm missing at roll call, and I'm in a guard's uniform in the guard break room, just sitting there, and I'm like, is somebody just gonna open a door at some point and be like, oh hey, what are you doing in here? So I'm just sitting there, and finally like they started searching the whole prison. Nobody ever found me. I just like, it just popped up a message, and it was like, it said something like they were sending, if I wasn't hurt fast, if I didn't hurry, they would send in backup. And then at one point it popped up a message, and they were like, luckily our staff is skilled enough to find, even sneaky people like you or something. So I ended up in solitary for 3 days, and that was the end of that little run. But like I was just stuck in the guards break room, like literally the worst place for a prisoner to be if they're trying to escape, and they never looked there once.
Eventually you use those rooms when you find ink and paper, and you have to falsify documents, because sometimes
crazy.
Yeah, sometimes you have to go through the front gate, and the guards won't. Even if you're in a guard uniform, they won't let you out unless you have the proper identification. So you have to forge it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, you just made me like, because I finished that prison, and I was like, okay, I think I would kind of want to take a break for a second, because that was like insane. But you just made me excited to play it more. Like if stuff like that's happening in like the later prisons, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's literally all I played, but it's a pretty good game. I'll definitely keep at it.
So Chad, you obviously have the Escapist, and you will have the Escapist too, because I'm going to buy it. So
right, I played a little bit.
If Josh gets it, we can.
Yeah, that would be fun. That sounds like
go to prison together.
Yeah, that's one that I would be interested in co-oping that game. That sounds fun.
Cool.
Absolutely. How about you, Dave? What have you been playing?
Well, I played some more Wildlands, a little bit with you, and I played some with Paco a little bit on our own. And that's really fun. We talked about that. Obviously doing very well. I also played some Overwatch with the Steeler brothers. Played some of the new season and got my loot boxes in the arcade. And I still haven't played as Doomfist yet, but I've been killed by him. So it's interesting. I also played some Friday the 13th with them, which is always fun. We've talked about that before. And then I talked about last week barely touching Slime Sand for the Switch. And I played more of that the other night. And it's a lot like I said, Meat Boy. It's slower. Meat Boy's much faster. But as far as being a little slimy thing that can jump on the walls and kind of slide down walls and jump and do those different, it's that type of platform. So if you like that, look into it. I think it was only like $9 or something. It wasn't expensive. And it was a little fun little game. And I barely got into it. There's a whole ecosystem as far as buying things and stuff I haven't even talked to. There's towns you can go to and have conversations with people. So lots to do in that game. And then I also played some Ark survival combat. Well, I forgot what the full name is.
Survival Evolved.
They still haven't put our PS4 server back up. So me and Paco and Jordan and Evan, who had characters on there, they're locked on that server still. So from what I heard during research months ago, it was down for maintenance and it's still not up. So we made a new server on like the Scorched Earth one, which is a more difficult map, and we had to quit because it was ridiculously too hard for us to do anything. And then later we went and played something else. And then last but not least, I started going back into Shadow of Mordor. I actually streamed like 2 hours of it last week of the earlier stages of the game. I really like that game. It plays very well. It really makes me look forward to the next one. The fact that we're going to have loot boxes and stuff in it like that. But I'm really looking forward to the game. So Shadow of Mordor is really cool. I would like to try to platinum it. But again, like you did mention, everything's starting to hit now. So we're going to have plenty to play right around the corner.
Very true. Very true.
So that's it for me. As you can see on the list. That's what outlines are for.
Okay. Just okay. All right. So I also played Wildlands. As you recall, 2 weeks ago, I had mentioned my goal was to platinum it by this week. And I was well on my way. I was ready to do it. I had done everything I was supposed to do. And then I finished the game and beat all the story missions. But the trophy for beating all the story missions didn't unlock. And I did some research, and it's a notorious trophy that is glitched. A lot of people say they have yet to have it unlock. There were some workarounds that I did try. Didn't work. Tried it again. Still didn't work. Got frustrated. Continued to play. So I kept playing. I got all the collectibles that you could possibly get. And I got everything to unlock except for the submachine gun parts, which I have every single one because there are none on the map. And I checked to make sure I have them all, and I do. Wouldn't unlock. And then there's one for getting all the documents, which is all the Kingslayer files and all the other relics and things like that. Got the trophy for all the Kingslayer files. Would not get the trophy for all the documents, even though every document is picked up. So those 3 trophies, plus for upgrading everything, all your XP, upgrading every level, which I could do but would take time, and the platinum are all that's left. 3 of the 4 trophies that are not the platinum I have, but have not popped. And after trying to do on the internet and find out how I could get them, I still have yet to do so. And so frustratingly, I've put that platinum on hold. I enjoyed my time with it. I like the game. It's a lot of fun. But when stuff like that, when you're playing for those things, when you're pushing for that, and you do everything that's required, and a glitch prevents 3 of the last 5 from going, that can take a lot of wind out of your sails. So disappointed about that. And after I did that, I didn't know what to play, so I played some Rayman Legends because that's a good game to just kind of jump in, play, and it's fun, and the music is cool. So I played that a little bit. And then just the other day, I finished up Tacoma and enjoyed that a lot. Anything at all. I will say I don't think it's quite as up to par as Gone Home was. Not that it's none of it's bad at all. The story is different, obviously. It's completely different. But it's interesting. The storytelling is good. Maybe not as surprising as I had hoped for. But I didn't get spoiled beforehand, so I didn't have any idea what was coming. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time with it. I think I have 3 or 4 achievements left to do that I'll probably go back and get those. So I'll have all the achievements on those. It took me, I had 2 sittings that I played, and I think totally it was probably around 4 hours that I spent with it. Again, there's a couple like collectible trophies that I can go, or trophies or achievements that I can go back and get. So I'd probably add another, maybe half hour into it. So less than 5, between 4 or 5 hours, it seems to be what it took. And I didn't rush through it. I definitely took my time. So
that was going to be my question.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
It was fun. Definitely worth.
I'm excited for it to come to PS4 if it ever does.
It would be a very, very easy platinum as well if they put a platinum on it, which who knows? Gone Home didn't have one, so
Yeah.
Who knows? All right. Those are the games. So, speaking of the games we did play, Dave mentioned the games coming out. We know there's a queue. Every fall, when this one game comes out, you know it's the beginning of the deluge of new video games, and that one is on this list. So, Dave, why don't you let us know what the new games are for this week? And then if you know the game, tell us what game it is that I'm referring to.
If I know the game? The Escapist 2 is going to be coming out on August 22nd for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. We just talked a lot about Escapist 1, so if that sounds good to you, Escapist 2 is going to be cool and have multiplayer. So get it. And also, for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, PS3, Xbox 360, and iOS, Guardians of the Galaxy Episode 3. I still have not completed 1.
Yeah, I still haven't even played it.
Or 2.
I like it. I like it.
So that's out there. Also, for the PS4 on August 22nd is the much anticipated DLC storyline, whatever you want to call it, Uncharted: The Lost Legacies. It's a standalone game for Uncharted, featuring Chloe and Nadine from Uncharted 4. So that will be available for you to play. So go ahead and get that if that's interesting to you. Also, for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on the 25th is F1. Anybody know what F1 is? Trivia?
It's Formula 1.
It's got to be racing.
Yes.
Yeah, Formula 1
is. Also,
we passed Dave's test.
I had an F1 racing game for the 64, and I don't remember why I bought it, but I remember spending a considerable amount of time with it, and I wasn't like a racing game enthusiast.
I know why you got it, because you liked F-Zero and you thought this must be the sequel.
That's totally it. No, yeah. It was evident what it was. I don't remember why I bought it. I think it was just cheap, and I was just looking for a new game, maybe. But I remember really, really enjoying it because it was very realistic, at least as far as games back then. Like, you could change your tires, and you would do pit stops and all kinds of things. Anyway, that's just an aside. But I had fun with the F1 game once upon a time.
So Josh is going to get F1 and review it. And
so I'm stoked about this.
August 25th. Yeah. So last but not least, on August 25th, coming out for the PS4 and the Xbox One, and the game I believe that Chad was referring to.
That's
Madden
correct.
NFL 2018. Or,
that's right,
known by the fans, Madden 18.
That's right. Yep. So Madden games are typically the sign that the fall gaming season has begun, and
Have you guys seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, there's a story mode in this game. First time.
It's crazy what the graphics look like in that trailer. I know it's cutscene footage, but it's crazy.
And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good addition. And obviously Madden is Madden, but it looks better than ever. But adding the story mode, supposedly from what I'm hearing, those that I listen to, it sounds like it's pretty good. So,
is he still doing voiceover in these games?
No, he's not. John Madden himself.
Because I think I have Madden 15, but it's been a while since I've played it, so I didn't remember if he was in it or not.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. It's been a while since he said "boom."
I know. I kind of missed that though.
Yeah,
because I used to play those games, and he'd be like, it's a 15 yards, or however. I can't.
Yeah, that's it. Nailed it, John Madden. Guys, it's the 15. Man, it's like he was in the room.
It ended up being like a mix between Gonzo and Kermit the Frog.
We have John Madden on the podcast this week, ladies and gentlemen. John, what's your favorite thing about football?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I really like seeing the guys run down the field and drawing on the screen.
Thanks, John. Go back to your home. All right. So those are the new
John 2018 coming out August 25th.
Get it. That's if you want more of that. All right. So those are the new games coming out this week. We will continue to let you know the good games that come out. I plan on playing some Uncharted here, in an hour. So
nice.
Yeah. Brings us to the final segment of the evening. The been missed for a couple weeks. Game Scoops. 20 questions.
Let's go.
All All right, Josh has chosen the game this week, and Dave and I will guess it.
I just realized I've not been talking into my mic for the last 30 minutes of the podcast. So you might have to do some audio work there.
Awesome.
Chad Wick.
Nah. All right, so Dave, you want to start us off?
Josh. Yes, I would. Chad. Josh. In this game of 20 questions, is the game a game in which your character has visible hands?
It's a long walk. Yes, in this game, your character does have visible hands.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Josh, is this game
Star Fox first as
Yeah, that one's out.
F-Zero.
Star Fox is out. Yeah.
F1.
You probably see your hands on the steering wheel. All right, Josh, did this game come out on the current gen console?
No.
Did this game come out during the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii era?
No.
So the previous would be PS2 and 64?
And Xbox.
Correct. And Xbox. So the PS2?
And 64 is
Xbox?
really early in that genre, but yeah.
PS2, Xbox.
No. It wouldn't be N64, it'd be GameCube.
Okay. That one.
Yeah.
Is the question, did it come out during that era?
Yes.
It did not.
Okay, so it's playable on that area in some fame or fortune. What
No,
did I just say? Fame and fortune? I meant
Fame and
form or
fortune.
fashion.
Don't infer that either. I just I wasn't sure if you were asking if it came out during that era
You're just clarifying.
or if you were just clarifying what the era was.
Fortune.
Let's
Indiana
see.
Jones, Fame and Fortune.
Did this come out on the? Oh my gosh, we're burning through stuff here. Did this game,
Yeah,
Josh?
this method's not working so well.
Yeah, did it come out on the SNES era?
No.
I skipped one.
No,
Could that be the one?
We'll never know. No. I mean, we could know.
We'll never know, Chad. Not even if we guess the game.
So, good grief, man. This method has not worked this week. So it's not current gen, not last gen, not the gen before that.
Okay, we've narrowed it down enough. Let's until we guess more about the game. Well, we've narrowed it down. It's either NES, arcade era, in the 80s, or it's what 2000s or whatever. So let's go like genre and stuff, or more stuff about the actual game.
Okay, so we have visible hands. Josh, is this a third-person game?
No.
So the character you play, where I'm confirming the character you play, the character that you are playing as, you can visibly see their hands.
Yes.
Okay, so that, in my opinion, that rules out like an RTS game, because that's on my mind since we were talking about it. Because you are like a commander controlling that stuff.
Sure.
So most of the top-down games, unless you are controlling the actual person, that's your player, I would think it would either be a first person or, I mean
it could be a side scroller too. Yeah, because you see Mario's hands.
Oh yeah, third person. We're thinking over the shoulder. That's right. Yeah, you're right. But it's not Super Nintendo. I mean, if it's original, it would be. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Let's see, Josh. Is this considered a shooter type game?
No.
Okay. So rule out shooters in first person and side scrolling. So it could still be first person if it's like a game like a Myst game or a type first person shooter. I mean, because Skyrim, that's not that's not a shooter and stuff like that. So
is this a side scrolling game, Josh?
Yes.
Chad, you should have just went with it. Okay. Now we wasted these questions.
I went with it. Now we know. We don't have to wonder all the other things you said.
Have we reached 10 yet?
I think that was
Not
8.
yet.
Okay,
That's what I
'cause
have.
I'm expecting that's 10 when we hit 10.
Okay.
Or it doesn't count.
Okay.
We just start all over. It's free questions. Okay, so it's a side scroller. Is your character a human?
No.
Okay. Is your character an animal?
Yes. That's 10.
If this is freaking Sonic the Hedgehog,
I know. I was going to say,
Josh,
does your character wear either pants or a shirt?
You're just asking if the character wears either or?
I didn't want to say clothes.
Yeah, like, 'cause what if he
because I
only
didn't want
wears
to include
one, Dave?
I didn't want to include shoes or gloves. So I'm not going to say clothes in general. I'm going to say pants or a shirt. So
he
he
doesn't
could,
wear clothes on his torso.
he could be wearing just a shirt or he could be wearing just pants. Doesn't Banjo only wear pants?
I think
So your question is, does the character
Getting
wear
sneaky,
only one or the other?
Well, no. I mean,
See,
I meant no. What
you
I
need
mean
to
is,
ask a definitive
I said either.
one thing. I think.
no.
What if he wears?
So you're asking if the character wears either one
Yes.
at all?
Yes.
Okay. Then the answer is yes.
Okay. So it's not Sonic. He only wears shoes and gloves.
So he could be wearing a shirt but no pants.
Yes.
He could be wearing pants but no shirt, or he could be wearing both. I'm guessing, by the way, he clarified that he's probably wearing one or the other.
Donkey Kong, for example, only wears a tie.
Shirt nor pants.
Which is also way too casual for Casual
Right.
Friday.
That's why I said only a tie. Diddy Kong wears a shirt and a hat.
Okay.
I'm
fair.
trying to think of characters that only wear one or the other. I think
You gotta
Banjo
think.
only wears pants.
Okay, so that could be sure. It's a side scroller. Banjo's not.
Although Banjo's, yeah, you're right. It's not a side scroller. Or Banjo's not a side scroller.
Yeah.
So it's not the Donkey Kong unless you're not the main character. But this is the game, so this isn't video games. Who am I or whatever?
Right.
So
Okay, so a side scroller. You see your hands. You're an animal, and you wear either pants or a shirt. One of the two, or both.
it would help if we knew what console this was on. I mean, if it's cross-platform, I mean, if it's Nintendo,
Yeah, it
that narrows it down.
a
If
bit.
it's cross-platform, but if it's cross-platform, it also might narrow it down because I'm trying to think of cross-platform animals that, I mean, unless it's because it can't be a mascot if it's cross-platform.
Right.
So you've got
Um,
characters like Gex, which I don't think he wore clothes except maybe glasses. Can't remember. I don't think so. Earthworm Jim, he wore an entire suit. It's not a shooter either.
Nope. Not a shooter.
So that's something to consider.
Josh, is this a was this a Nintendo exclusive game?
Yes.
Good. So again, this could be someone who does wear an entire clothes. It could still be Mario or Luigi or whatever.
Well, it's an animal. It's an animal, so it
Oh,
could
that's
be though.
yeah. You're right. It can't be. Yeah, you're right. So it could be. Let's see, either or.
Just think of Nintendo side scrollers that have animals.
And he wasn't questioning on the animal, so it's clearly
No, it
an
was a
animal.
definite.
Conquer,
Side scroller, probably on the NES. I'm guessing.
side
Probably on the
scroller.
NES. That you're an animal. In. It's gonna be a game he liked. I'm thinking maybe kind of obscure, possibly, but we'll know of it.
But it's an animal that it obviously must act somewhat like a human if it's wearing clothes. So it's
Sure.
not going to be like a game like Evo or a game where you're just an animal or something, and that's
Right. Huh.
Can't be Echo.
Could ask if it's part of a franchise.
Sega
Could ask if it's part of a licensed property.
Is this part of a franchise, Josh?
No.
Okay, so it could just be a one-off. Is this a licensed property?
Yes.
Okay. So could it be a Disney game? What would a Disney character?
Man. Ouch. Side-scrolling animal.
The Lion King doesn't wear clothes. They didn't wear clothes in that.
Well, ask if it's Disney then. We'll narrow that down if it is or it isn't.
Is it a Disney property?
Yes. That's 15.
Whoa.
So it's not going to be Lion King. Aladdin, he plays Aladdin.
Yeah.
There's DuckTales. Oh, that's not Disney. Is that Disney?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Warner Brothers or whatever.
Totally.
Because, I'm thinking of Daffy. Yeah, Donald was definitely Disney. Yeah, so there's that. There's Darkwing Duck.
Are you?
Is that kind of a shooter?
Kind of. So what other animals? I like the Uncle Scrooge.
DuckTales.
DuckTales. Tailspin is also one you could be where you play as Baloo.
There's Mickey. I don't know
Mickey.
what
Side
game
scrollers though.
on the SNES.
Yes, that was another one.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's right. We haven't narrowed down the genre, but so it's either. But it is.
I'm guessing NES. It's a Nintendo exclusive. It's got to be an NES game. Josh, do you play? Is your animal that you play as a duck?
Yes.
As a character that has lots of money.
Do you play as a character who has big piles of money in a vault that he slides down sometimes?
Yes.
There you go.
What was
Is
it
this
called?
game DuckTales? Just
Yes.
DuckTales. Woohoo!
Got it in 18. DuckTales
Nice.
was released on the NES on September 14th, 1989 in North America, and on Game Boy on September 21st, 1990. It was remastered in, 2013 for current gen consoles and PC, or maybe last gen. But yeah, DuckTales.
Very cool, fun game. And it's
Excellent.
also part of the Saturday afternoon collection on current gen consoles as well.
Excellent game. Lots of nostalgia in the game and the show for me. I've been
They're redoing it.
yeah, I know. I don't know what to think about it though. We've been packing, so we've been like Saturday, we were just kind of lazy. We picked up our keys for the apartment and we were watching Animaniacs all morning.
Yes.
And like as we were watching Animaniacs, I was thinking, man, I really wish DuckTales was on Netflix.
Yeah,
and it kind of makes me want to like go out and buy it or download it or something.
good show.
Yeah, DuckTales.
Good game.
Great game.
Good show,
I
good
spent a
game.
lot of time with that game when I was a kid too.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Who knew his cane was a pogo stick? All right. Well, with that rousing game of successful Game Scoops 20 question, we are going to questions. I think 20 questions is plural. We are going to wrap up this week's podcast. As always, thank you so much for listening. Remember, we are part of the SueEmpire.com podcast family. You can check them out for other podcasts from South Dakota. But for those of you that are listening this week, we are grateful for you. We are thankful for your listening. Let us ask, tell a friend. Make sure you've got another week and a couple days to get in your favorite character, video game character, for your August entry for the giveaway. And we'll have something brand new for you come September. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But until next week, I'm Chad, and along with Josh and Dave, we're going to say a good night.
Bye-bye.
Piece of pizza. And Chad, you realize
What?
now what you're going to have to
Yeah.
look up for this show.
You have to look up for the show.
DuckTales.
Oh, I'll have to look that up. I already got that. And we're done. What the heck just happened there?